Howdy ho, folks. It's your multiversal medium here for another episode of Immortal Life. Last time we left off, I'm pretty certain we were talking to girls about worms, which is weirdly fitting. This episode, I actually just looked this up. I finally looked up where do you get anima fruit. Yeah, apparently this dude sells them. So yeah, we're gonna have to be doing that. So apparently we're kind of low on freaking money, so I guess we're gonna be selling stuff. Yeah, selling things and stuff. And we'll get us some anima fruit and call it good. Yeah, man. Yeah. How many? I don't know. How many do they freaking harvest all at once? Whatever. It's probably fine. Probably fine. Worst case scenario, I can sell freaking veggies and the like, which I keep refusing to do because they're really useful for various quests. But. So I think what we need to kind of hunker down today and do is apparently pick up a quest. What's up? Hey. Cleaning the yard. The leaves have made a mess in the yard. I want to lay a flagstone path, as it's beautiful and easy to clean. Okay. Sure. Anyways, as I was saying, what we need to kind of hunker down and do is probably just get that anima fruit going because it's needed for various things. I'm missing soy sauce for that. Okay. And I think I still need like rice cakes or something. Was that what the little kid wanted? Like rice cakes? Is that all the way at the top? I think I saw that. Yeah, sticky rice flour. Okay. Which I think I need sticky rice for. But beyond that, just try to hunker down and mess with the various other quests we've been kind of putting off. Kind of get back into the swing of things. We gotta eventually build like a spot for these silkworms. That way we can start doing the meta of any and every game. You know, the final end game of everything that allows it. Fashion. But beyond that, usual slow life nonsense. Been a few weeks since I played this because a few weeks ago I started to get sick. And it wasn't pleasant. Silkworm house. So we need some obsidian, superior stone, superior bamboo. Okay. What do I got that freaking might ease up all that? Let's see here. We got... Is that superior bamboo? No, probably not. What is the info button? Open info? Superior stone, okay. And then we need some obsidian. This one is regular bamboo. Okay, yeah. Sort all that and gotta pop it over. Yeah. Might actually low-key just be gathering materials again. Because of course. Of effing course. Why wouldn't I be? That being said, I think we're kind of full up on spots. I honestly don't feel like expanding the farm right now. Not just yet. Oh, right, she's there. I did look up what game she's from, and I think she's more from like a city builder kind of like thing. Oh, are we gonna actually have to look up how to make a... Oh, yeah. We're gonna have to get the processing recipe for sticky rice flour. Okay. That's That's a thing. That's a thing we're gonna have to do. But yeah, I looked up what game she's from. And the long and short of it is she's from a game that is like a city builder, like automation type game. I guess the kind of thing that like you build up your town and it does better in this way. So you want to keep building up your town more and more and it becomes a giant balancing act. Those types of games. Maybe I'll play it eventually on this channel. I don't know. That being said, I couldn't immediately find it because the name she gave for it in her text box was like a direct translation and not what the game's called. So legit, I had to look it up and then like that name with Immortal Life, and someone had asked the devs and they're like, oh yeah, that's a direct translation. It's actually this game, and they linked it. It's on Steam. Yeah, it's totally like something I could play. It's got very mixed reviews last time I checked. That doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's some people didn't expect what the heck they were getting, and some people were fully expecting what the heck they were getting and were happy with it. You know, like usual consumerism. Any bot. Wondering how we're doing on Spear Bamboo. But yeah, something possibly to do down the line. I'm not against constantly keeping a high Eastern fantasy game kind of going. I've got a handful, not a lot, but it's a genre I actually do really like, as I probably have showcased by now, considering I keep talking about the smaller intricacies of it. Like, I usually when I'm editing a video or whatever, I'm reading a manhwa in some way, shape, or form, which is always a grab bag because they're almost always just acceptable quality, slightly good quality, or one of the worst effing qualities ever. Like, the genre is known to just steal assets from other things just so they don't have to draw them in their frickin' comic, basically. Like, they will just take 3D assets of video games and stuff to use instead of just drawing something as a set piece. I have seen the PUBG map, PlayerUnknown's Battleground map, in a frickin' Manhwa before. I have seen just a 3D model of a Lego brick dude in a Manhwa before. I am constantly seeing the same 3D asset horse in a Manhwa. I am constantly seeing some weird 3D version of a fancy meal because they don't want to draw a fancy meal. It is constant stealing of assets just because they don't want to draw it. And sometimes the story makes me not care. All right, like, let's see here. I don't think I have enough spear bamboo, actually. Bummer drummer. Oh, did this somehow? Okay. That somehow grew in that time. Cool. So it's something I kind of like reading as like my trashy fix. And I think getting a trashy fix is something... Okay, I do have enough spear bamboo. I only needed like 10. It means I just need to go into the mine tomorrow. Okay, cool. Awesome. But I think everyone should have kind of like that trashy fix, you know? The thing that like they know is bad, but that's not going to stop them from enjoying it. Like, why are you watching 16 and Pregnant? And it's like, these women are freaking horrible. That's why I'm watching it. They are horrible people that have been on the same show for like decades now. Their kids are like older than they were when they started the show at this point. Like, it's freaking horrible. Why would I not keep watching this? Or at least that's my fiance's go-to. Actually, she's got a few go-tos. But see here. Where is, yeah, make sure that's down. Can I actually put something right there? Is that a place that, no? Okay. Oh, did I get rid of the, did I get rid, nope, I still have the dried black carp. Cool, cool. Awesome. I do know I need that for a quest. Anyways. So yeah, having that one trashy thing where you can just like watch and someone be like, seriously, you're watching that? And it's like, yeah, I know it's horrible, right? Is kind of freeing and gratifying. It's something you can just kind of like zone out. You don't need to overly expect anything from it. You can just totally expect it to be garbage. And I suppose that sounds kind of weird coming from me when I'm a person who is hyper-critical of various forms of art, depending on who's presenting the art form. Like, AAA video game studios just producing garbage. It's the entire reason I'm so hyper aggressive about Harvestella and the like. It's just, this is a AAA dev doing garbage work, and they should not be accepted in doing this. They should be called out, and they should be review bombed, and they should legit lose like stocks and part of their portfolio so they become a better company because of how bad this is, kind of thing. Which sounds hyper aggressive out of context, but like, I'm 60 episodes into that series last time I was editing, and every single episode there's something wrong with it, from the UI to the gameplay to the storyline. The storyline's nonsensical. So when I'm someone that's that hypercritical of something, me saying like, yeah, get your trash fix, man, it feels kind of out of place is all. But like, we're all allowed our own stupid opinion, and I think that's it. We're all allowed that stupid moment where it's like, yeah, man, I know it's bad, it's garbage, I don't care. And as long as you're willing to admit, yeah, man, it's effing garbage, and I don't care that you think it's garbage because I know it's garbage too, that instantly validates it. Trying to argue something where it's like, yeah, it's the best thing ever, I don't know why you guys hate it, is when it actually becomes like an issue. Everyone watching TLC knows TLC is garbage. Everyone watching any reality TV knows reality TV is garbage. But trying to claim it's otherwise is very detrimental to any argument you may ever have. Okay, what do you got to say? The valley is such a perfect place to fish. I even caught the rare gold lucky fish. Yeah, I already caught like I think 2 of those. Though in all honesty, I have some doubts that this fish has any luck to share. I mean, it's obviously not so lucky that it didn't get caught. Alrighty, let's see here. So we're getting full buildings at this point, and I'm assuming this has an yeah, it has an interior. Wow. Put the silkworms into a silkworm rack to start breeding. Feed the silkworms with mulberry leaves once a day, and at least once in 6 days to ensure a healthy growth of the silkworms. When the silkworms mature, place the cocoon rack according to the prompt. After cocooning, silkworms no longer need to be fed, and they will cocoon automatically after a few days. Silkworms may produce superior cocoons. Feed the silkworms with high-quality mulberry leaves to increase the probability of obtaining them. I like that you can mess with the probability. Put the harvested cocoons into the silk rilling frame for processing to obtain silk. Silk is a necessary component for making outfits. Okay, yeah, this seems just cool. Like, it seems like a fully thought out and fleshed out aspect of the game. And I am not super surprised. I need to get some mulberry bushes going before I do that. 100%, we're just gonna full up on all this. So it may be smart to start clearing this out and start planning it out. I don't know if there's gonna be much more farmland, and I don't know if it's necessary. Maybe farmland wise we'll get some by completing this bridge, but I don't know if it's outright necessary. Oh, right. Class reminder. Yeah, go immediately, please and thank you. Me no wanna miss class. Is what raise stats. Awesome. So is my MP like capped out? It might be. Oh, hey, by the way, dried black carp. Cool. Is this the dried black carp you made? It's delicious. This is better than what those fishermen who catch and dry fish all year round make. Yeah, it was in a very spiritual valley when I did it, you know? I'm gonna have that on the tin when I try to sell it. You know, just like caught in classic Spirit Valley and dried in the most spiritual of fields. I think I'll be able to charge at least 5 times the competitor's price if I put that on the tin. Or at least I think someone's stupid enough to pay 5 times the price. There's at least someone stupid enough to do that. I heard from a fellow fisherman that dried black carp can be steamed with a little ginger and garlic over a high heat to bring out its full aroma. Since you are quite talented in cooking, why not try making this dish? I love how cooking's effing dumb. I do believe this works, but I love how fucking stupid cooking is, because it's like, I just dried out this thing so it's very preserved or whatever. Oh, if you want to get the most out of that, you should steam it. What? I just dried it out. Yeah, rehydrate it. What? It's not wrong. That's all pasta is. You boil something that was dried out to rehydrate it. It's just effing stupid. From a weird third-person perspective of everything that's going on. I'd like to talk to you. Cool. Did I already get this month's allowance? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. But like, from a weird third-person perspective, you gotta wonder, like, how did they decide to just do the exact opposite of the thing they just spent months doing? They just spent like a month. I'd like to talk to you. Cool. He's got interior stuff. You have exterior. I'd like to talk to you. Design decorations. Yeah, gonna have to start getting all this stuff. Yeah. Should I just hunker down and do this? Should I just hunker down and get a lot of materials to do this? Oh, it looks so nice. Oh, look at that. That's fancy. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might just go on a material freaking gathering spree. And I really effing shouldn't. I really shouldn't. So do I want the bamboo? Do I want like, I kind of like those stone ones, but let's just go through the list, start grabbing everything. Bit by bit. This was something I wanted to get out of the way eventually. And considering I'm kind of in a weird limbo with the silkworms and stuff, and we're getting buildings, it might be smart to slowly start figuring out what the heck we want the actual farm and everything to look like. Yeah, and then from there we'll get to the truest meta of fashion and everything after making our freaking farm all fashionable. Yeah, yeah. The good. The effing good. Alrighty. Let's see here. So, I mentioned that I haven't recorded in like several weeks. I got horribly sick and it took like 2 weeks to fully heal up from it. And I quite literally mean horribly sick. Like just shy of rush me to the ER kind of sick. And my body still doesn't know what the heck hit it. I still don't know what the heck hit it. As far as I'm aware, it was just a random infection that could have been an infection of any sort. Who knows? But it took 2 weeks to frickin' crank it out and be good. But during those 2 weeks, I still needed to kind of record. So yesterday I finished editing the Dread Delusion that went up the week before this episode. And I recorded that, I want to say halfway through being sick. During one of the brief moments where it's like, I'm good, I can do stuff. I recorded 2 episodes, and it's funny listening to the first episode of that recording and then going to the second episode and being like, oh, I was dead at that point, huh? That was the point that I just kind of died. Just trying to power through it, like any and all energy, any and all like chutzpah. Ooh, what time do we actually need to get to the end to do that stupid frickin' talk to the 2 gossiping girls quest? And I'm not good at handling time in this game. I really ain't. But also this game is so lax when it comes to it that I don't feel like it's a bad thing. Wow, that was awesome. You took the enemy down with just 1 move to save the day? Of course. That move was his famous skill, and none among his peers could beat him. How did he learn to do that? Tell me about it. No, not today. My mouth is dry and you are forever asking questions. That's... You don't need to humor her whatsoever if you find her annoying. You just say you find her annoying and then just be a bee and leave. You don't need to humor her. Been several hours already. Are you going to come to hear my stories every day? Ah, but you know so much. Actually, yeah, I think you need to outright say you find her annoying. She's not going to learn otherwise. I wouldn't have listened at all if had it been you talking, truly. Okay, I tripped up on that like 3 times and I'm certain I'm gonna cut it out. It's just phrased weirdly. It's English. That's right. Consider this a lecture for her. Stop pestering her. Consider this a lecture for her. Yes, I'm learning from you and broadening my horizons. Surely you can't bear to throw cold water in my face, right? I mean, quite literally, I did hire you as a frickin' teacher. Sorry, but I can't stand such an inquisitive sort like you. You'd best find someone else to bother. Oh, and now I realize why you're the worst teacher I hired. You haven't suck as a teacher. What happened to Feng afterward? Can't you at least finish the story? You truly are an inquisitive girl. Ah, wait. I remember now. Not long ago, someone started writing a series of books based on the stories of Feng Lohan, which they called The Wandering Swordsman. If I remember correctly, Volume 5 just came out. I'm very curious how serial novels are doing anything in a setting like this. Let me put it this way. The entire reason we're able to get books everywhere, and they're so commonplace that anyone can honestly just pick up a book and read one nowadays, is because of the printing press. Because before the printing press, which is an automated way of printing page after page after page of a book, you had to hand transcribe them. It's not that people didn't like reading. It's that making a book took forever, much less a mass-produced book. Now, I'm not saying in this high Eastern fantasy setting, you can't have some fantasy hand-wavy, this is how we're getting books out there. I've just never seen it touched upon in this setting. And it's always hand-waved off screen. Because I have seen like various novels and stuff brought up. Like, oh yeah, I'm reading the newest novel or whatever of this one so-and-so in this setting. It's not super weird to see it brought up in this setting, because this setting is usually done by people who like to read. But it makes me curious on the world building side of how it's being done. How are they mass producing books? That's what I'm wondering. Since you are so interested in him, why not buy and read it yourself? It is sold in bookstores everywhere. Okay. Oh, really? That's great. I'm on my way. Okay. View potential lecturers? Ocean, you come just in time. I put together a list of potential candidates. These cultivators have varied temperaments, so it will take some effort on your part to invite them. Fortunately for you, I have some knowledge of their skills and how one might get their attention. As long as these requirements are met, you should be able to hire them with ease. So, like, not for nothing, but is this like a nepotism hire that you're making me hire your friends and they're all gonna suck like you? Why don't you see for yourself? Lecturer candidates unlocked. Talk with Tingfeng, the Wanderer, and select view lecturer candidates. View the information of the potential candidates. If the requirements are met, the potential candidate will become interested and come. The what? Okay. So, ginseng fruit. Cultivation, stance, divinity. Essentials of sealing, need some cinnabar. Open up trade routes. And some small pearls. Needs a liquor, cucumber salad, steamed sea bass. Good amount of cultivation, stance, and MP. Cultivation, divinity, willpower. Chicken, pork, beef. Some of these dudes just like eating. Gosh dang, man. Like, nothing wrong with that. I like eating too. It's just, I am kind of judging them for it. I'm not going to lie. I am 100% kind of judging them. Okay, what the heck's going on here? Sweet tea. I love me a sweet tea. 2 days ago, a group of customers came to the inn, hailing from the southern parts of the Flower Valley. Of course, it's someone from the south that wants a sweet tea. What the heck you want about, girl? I served them the inn's best premium B-long tea, but they said it was too bitter to drink. It seems the popular tea over there is sweet and fresh and cold, with a hint of floral fragrance. As you are knowledgeable and have many friends, can you help me inquire about this tea? You think I have friends? Oh wait, I do have friends in this game. This is not Harvestella. Wow. I have friends in a game. Wow. Ji Yahua seems quite knowledgeable about tea. I should go ask her. I completely butchered that name. Processing recipes. So, let's see. Sticky rice flour. I need some sticky rice. Do I have any sticky rice? Let's... Oh, wait. I can get the braised pork recipe right now, yeah? And that'll clear up some inventory. Let's see here. Braised pork, braised pork, braised pork. I'm pretty certain it was something with just 3. Why am I not seeing it? Must have passed it. Braised pork. Yeah. There we go. Ooh. So when I was editing this video the other day, my fiance kind of got on me because I wasn't feeding the stupid jade pendant, because she'd played this a bit, not as much as I had. Let's see here. Feast. He wants braised pork. Flagstone path. Flagstone path cross. Oh, okay. So she actually just wanted Flagstone pass. Oh, okay, cool. So, like, not for nothing, but do I have sticky rice? I don't think I do. I don't think I ever got a chance to grow any. Yeah, I'm not seeing any anywhere. That's something we're gonna have to grow at a different time. Okay, it is what it is. But, she got on me for not feeding the jade pendant, because one of the only things she did was feed the jade pendant, and she's like, it becomes a hot dude. And I'm like, okay. Kind of busy doing other things, and it's like, yeah, but like, hot dude. And I'm like, that is fair. I didn't consider hot dude. Wow. Okay, what the heck are we working on? Probably materials. 100% actually probably materials. Let's just pop. Majority of the stuff for now. Jade pendant, come back to me. Someday I will feed you, I swear. Just not now. But I was just amazed she got to the point where, like, he materialized in some way, shape, or form. Because, I don't know how much you need to cook to feed him. I really don't. Before he actually gets a portrait and becomes more of a character. I really don't. But I know my fiance loves cooking in video games. So I'm 100% not surprised if she just like zeroed in on the cooking minigame for this game and just like went ham. Like that's all she did to feed this jade pendant a bunch of frickin' just food. She thought it was probably the bestest thing ever. Like, and that's 100% on point for her. It really is. Was I talking about anything important? No, I don't think so. I don't think I had any proper thought process for this episode. I've been kind of rambling throughout the entirety of it. Closest thing I got to that was me talking about the whole printing press aspect of books in general and how it's kind of odd that there are just mass-produced books in the setting. Okay, so the bamboo and stuff's not back yet. Okay. Yeah, that's not an issue. It just makes me wonder how quickly it does come back. I can at least get all the lumber in general. Then just work on mining the next day. Sure, why not? We are just kind of waiting for our farm to clear up. And I'm too lazy to set up more automated watering things and care for more plots of land. That being said, I suppose I could actually just clear a bit of the land. We are planning on slowly outfitting this entire area, so may as well actually get rid of all this nonsense with what little stamina I still have. Oh, something so cathartic about slowly reclaiming a field in one of these games. Feels good, man. Feels really good. It really, really does. I've been debating doing a few very stupid challenge runs in various farming games that are, well, like I said, very stupid. Ao Shan, I heard Chen Yanju say you already know how to sun dry your own fish with an air drying rack, and even made some delicious steamed dried black carp. That's wonderful. I've recently developed some recipes using sun-dried products, so you just have to come and discuss them with me when you can. Okay, yeah, that's the equivalent of just waking up to a spam letter slapped in your face. Am I wrong in assuming that is the equivalent of just getting a spam letter as soon as you wake up, man? It is kind of insulting, right? Am I crazy here? Feels kind of half an insulting. Kind of, sort of. Whatever. Oh, I was saying that I am not beyond doing a high Eastern fantasy game semi-consistently on my channel. I feel like there's enough high Eastern fantasy games out and about nowadays that it's not super hard to just kind of like look surface level wise and be like, okay, yeah, that's there. I can just do that real quick and we're kind of good. Get a nice little series going. The issue with that being is, so this is an aspect of high Eastern fantasy I don't know if I've fully talked about yet. So yeah, here's the other part of that cutscene. Ow, dude, ow. Ouch, ow. Why is my character so often weak? Are you all right? I'm sorry. I was reading and didn't notice you. You were running full sprint and you were reading at that time? You just have a book attached to a random thing around your neck? How were you reading while doing a full sprint? Please don't blame me. The Wandering Swordsman is such an amazing story. I just can't get enough of it. Okay, well, there's only 5 volumes, so you're gonna have to. By the way, did you ever read books? What sort of story do you like best? Well, I grew up with Narnia, so I've always been a fan of isekai. That being said, as I got older, I really loved Of Mice and Men and Animal Farm. And I actually am a great fan of those classics that your teachers would want you to read. Old Man in the Sea is a freaking banger. It's a short read, but it's a banger. I am a major fan of just classics in general. Gosh. Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass are enjoyable. I liked The Divine Comedy. You're not going to let me say any of that stuff. Star-Crossed Lovers? No. Romeo and Juliet, it's garbage. People can't even quote that one right. And it's not even a proper, it's not a proper novel. It's a play, which means it's insufferable to read. Like, why hasn't there been, as far as I'm aware, someone just adapting Shakespearean plays into proper novelizations as opposed to them just being scripts or plays? Because anytime I went to pick up any Shakespearean anything, because I know the dude is freaking sass central. Shakespeare is the freaking clapback that everyone always wants to be and only thinks of how to clap back as when they're in the shower. And Shakespeare has always had that clapback. So like, I do want to read Shakespearean stuff, but anytime I went to, it was always set up as like a play with its formatting. And it's just not a good read when it's formatted that way. So I'm curious why there hasn't been a proper novelization as far as I'm aware. I may be wrong. Feel free to let me know down below if I'm wrong and there are proper novelizations of Shakespearean plays. But Romeo and Juliet is a bad one. Simply because everyone missed the mark on what the heck you're supposed to learn from Romeo and Juliet and got obsessed with this stupid freaking 14-year-old love story where they're both insufferable. And everyone misquotes it. I want you all to think, what is the Romeo and Juliet quote? What is the quote you think of? And I want you to realize the scene from where that quote is scene 2 and they have not met yet. And it is not where. It is not where for art thou. It is why. It is why for art thou. It is scene 2. They have not met yet. Juliet is on her balcony, 14 and horny, which is such a disgusting thing to say. Because she saw a 14-year-old from the rival family in scene 1. And she and Romeo were told, no, that's not happening. You could have anyone else in town besides that one. So she's on the balcony, just having a 14-year-old soliloquy. And guess who the F is stalking her in her garden underneath the balcony? It's Romeo. Romeo and Juliet is a gross story. And everyone thinks it's a great romance. It is effing gross. Oh my effing gosh. A story about ordinary people changing their destiny and becoming immortal. Immortality is like one of the worst curses you could give someone. I don't like that story. The one about a farmer who started from scratch and became very rich. I do like an underdog story, I do. The story of a chivalrous man eliminating demons to uphold justice. It's a bit cliche, but there's nothing wrong with cliches. It's how you use cliches. Cliches and tropes, if handled well, can be good. Good versus evil is usually... It depends on how you do it, honestly. It fell out of fashion for a while, but like... That's because people weren't experimenting with the cliches and tropes of good versus evil. And now I think we have enough experimental writers that are willing to properly mess with the classics and how they're portrayed that I think a good versus evil story can work out just fine. I guess the bottom one. Yeah, let's go with that. Looks like we have the same ideals. Stories about chivalrous deeds are the best. Okay, yeah, cool. I want to fight like the swordsman in novels. Sure. The Wandering Swordsman, recommended by Tingfeng the Wanderer, is particularly to my taste. Why don't you start a book club? Do you think like an immortal cultivation sect would just have a book club? How often do you think they meet? Like once every like 5 years? The leader of the book club is like a 200-year-old woman who looks like probably like 17. And the oldest member is like several thousand years old and just got into the new bodice rippers that the 200-year-old like recommended when they started the book club. Yeah, the new generation bodice rippers. I think that's a very funny thing just to consider. Its universe, characters, and even the culture of various places are so believable. The author really knows a lot about the world. I mean, didn't Tingfeng mention that it was based on a dude she was telling you about? Also, what makes you think Tingfeng the Wanderer is not the author, considering like various aspects of her design showcase she's a writer? Take the title for chapter 37. Eagle at the Phoenix Ridge. Crayfish in the Lake of Mist as an example. Oh gosh. I feel like I just stepped on the hyper focus of one individual that like I really shouldn't have. And now I'm just kind of stuck for like the next 30 plus minutes of them telling me about their passion. And it's not that I dislike them telling me about their passion. I just need to use the restroom. But I'm not getting a moment to even mention that I was on the way to the restroom. I need to go. I'm just going to be stuck here for like 30 plus minutes, smiling and nodding and getting a bit of resentment because of it, because I really need to go. But that resentment is unfounded because I actually do care about what you're saying. Middle school sucked. It also describes in detail how to make spicy crayfish. It's like a recipe book. Oh, right. You're proficient in cooking, so I'm sure you will be able to cook it. Why don't you try to make this dish? Why am I just expected to constantly do... You know what? You guys actually aren't super expecting it of me. You ask because you're curious more than anything, aren't you? Characters in this game aren't as D-baggish as I'm used to. It's kind of nice. I'll go get some crayfish and spices. You can get some minced pepper. Yeah, she's already getting like part of the ingredients. She's not D-baggish about it. Just grind the red chili with a millstone. This should be easy for you. You learn the recipe, minced pepper. Yeah. Yeah. She's willing to get like a majority of the ingredients. Oh, wait. I'd like to talk to you. Oh, by the way, sweet tea. Sweet and fresh. With a hint of floral fragrance. Which reminds me of a flower tea I used to drink. I need to stop with that kind of accent for her. The sweet aroma of flowers, although very light, is refreshing. The Flower Valley produces an abundance of flowers, as the name implies. So there must be a local custom of making tea with some of these flowers. Just so happens that I have a batch of chrysanthemum seeds here. You want to try it with that? The preparation of flower tea is also quite simple. Once the flowers bloom, they are picked and placed on an air drying rack for a few days, then stored once they are completely dried out. In this way, the tea is not only easy to store, but the fragrance and the flowers themselves will also remain in the dried flowers and will be reinvigorated when the water is boiled. You learned recipe, chrysanthemum tea. I know I'm butchering that name. I've never been able to say that word. I really never have been. Anyways, as I was saying before, we got like just sidelined by a girl who wanted to talk to us about her passion. It was cute. It was nice. It just, God, did I have to use the restroom? Anyways, so one aspect of high Eastern fantasy, and honestly a majority of novels or manhwas or anything from, I'm going to say China and Korea. I don't know if exactly if Japan has the same issue. I'm going to say actually it probably does. Just Asian countries in general tend to have this issue to a large margin. Yeah, Japan has this issue. I've talked about it in other series actually. It's just a different form of the same issue. Anyways, part of the issue with stories from these countries, where the high Eastern fantasy setting is mainly from, is that they just like having their story continue for way too long. Like, oh my effing gosh, how is this story still ongoing? How did you get this many chapters out of the story kind of thing? When, like, there's really no reason to have this story still going this long. How did you not reach a conclusion? And what I mean by that is, I'm pretty certain I mentioned probably in one of the earliest episodes of the series, I've never technically finished any story in a high Eastern fantasy setting because I caught up to the translations, and at that point I just need to wait like weekly for a series that may actually still be being made. Either way, these series, especially in this genre, and a lot of genres coming from Asian specific countries, never want to end when it comes to their storytelling. We're talking about novels that are done by amateur web novelists and the like, that are thousands and thousands of chapters that still somehow have not reached their crux point. We're talking comics, mangas, manhwas, what have you, that are hundreds and hundreds of chapters without reaching their crux point. And I know I've mentioned why this is majorly an issue when it comes to mangas and anime as a whole. And it's part of my bigger overarching issue with manga and anime in the modern sense, because it wasn't such an issue several decades back when I started getting into the hobbies. And that's when something's popular in Japan, when it comes to like anime or manga, you're not allowed to let it end. You're constantly told to keep making more and push out things longer and longer, as far as I'm aware, which leads to series just outliving their welcome. They really do. And I'm pretty certain when I brought this up at some point, I mentioned that if Cowboy Bebop, one of the most beloved animes of a generation, came out and tried to start out during this generation, even if it did well, which it may not have because of just the different ecospheres, it would be forced to do so many seasons of that anime that it would overstay its welcome and people would hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys are allowed to like One Piece. I don't know how the F they're forcing the story of One Piece to keep effing going. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z should be ended. Like, they should have ended a while ago. Frickin' the only anime slash manga slash anything I can say, like, no, it makes sense that it's still going. And that's only because I realized they're never going to touch the meta plot, because they refuse to, because they have the perfect formula outside of the meta plot. Is Detective Conan, case closed. I've talked about it a handful of times on my channel, but basically it's just anime Murder, She Wrote. A new murder mystery every single episode. Sometimes they'll do a special where it's multiple episodes or an hour-long episode for this murder mystery, and it's a bit more in depth. As long as they don't touch the main plot, that thing just goes forever. And I know I was just crapping on One Piece, and it's like, how are they not done with that? Case closed. Detective Conan has the same amount of episodes as One Piece. And once more, it's not that I think Detective Conan should not have stopped by now. It honestly should have. Its meta plot should have been figured out by now. It should have reached a conclusion. And maybe they did a reboot or just something else that nobody would care about the meta plot, and just do that as anime Murder, She Wrote. That would have been fine. But instead we have a perpetual meta plot that's never going to be figured out or have anything done with for one of the longest lasting animes slash mangas in general, because it keeps selling, and honestly it's kind of upsetting. That being said, that's the ecosphere of anything that sells well when it comes to the genre. Just keep it going until it stops doing well, and then you stop. I've mentioned before on my channel as well that Sword Art Online, the Mary Sue story of Mary Sue stories, at least for some generation. I'm debating on doing a Sword Art Online game after Harvestell is over, because the gameplay for those games is actually enjoyable. It's just the storyline that effing sucks so bad, because it's got the usual Sword Art Online writing. So yeah, I might actually just do that as my next Let's Critique series. But that series was a web novel originally, which is pretty obvious with how amateur the writing is. There's nothing wrong with amateur writing in a web novel sense. A web novelist is someone who's putting an amateur work up. It's when you start to get to higher tiers of writing, you're trying to get it published into various other forms, that you need to refine it. And I don't think the author slash creator of Sword Art Online ever refined their process or their writing philosophy or anything, because what they were doing was selling. But it goes a bit beyond that, because obviously at some point they were expecting the series to be done with, and then it was too popular at that point, so they were kind of forced to keep doing things. And it leads to worse storytelling, basically. It leads to the scenarios where people who are a big fan of Sword Art Online, or a big fan of whatever long-lasting anime, or a big fan of whatever story they like, manga, whatever, that is selling well, and they've been a part of it since the get-go. It gets to the point where it's like, yeah, and then that story arc, right? That one sucked, but And it's like, yeah, the author had to come up with something because they were not allowed to finish the story at that point. And they were told they're not allowed to let the story finish. Like, I want you to think, if you like anime or whatever, because it's very common in anime, or maybe you just read the manga or whatever, I want you to think back to when that bad story arc, the bad season that you and everyone who likes that anime or whatever thinks back and is like, yeah, and that one just effing sucked. I want you to think of that season. And I want you to think, how did the last one end, actually? Could the last season have actually been a proper end cap to the entire series? What if we twisted it a bit? Would this have been a proper end cap to the entire series right here? And a lot of the time, yeah. Yeah, actually. There's usually enough proof that it could have been an end to the entire series right there. And they just didn't end it because it was popular. So that series you really liked had to become something you disliked because of capitalism and just the constant expectations to sell more and more of a product. And when someone says capitalism kills art, that is a proper representation of what those people mean when they say that. It kills the creative process of trying to create art, because as opposed to creating art, you need to create a product. And if it's a product you've created before, you need to keep creating it in a manner to keep selling it. Anyways, it's been an episode. Usual rambling nonsense. I'll talk to you guys in another episode of Immortal Life or anything else on my channel. I know the channel's still pretty bare bones right now. I was out for 2 weeks to the point where I couldn't even render videos for a majority of it. I lost like half of this month progress wise when I was already expecting to use this month and next month to try and get the progress I needed to back. So yeah, it kind of sucks majorly. Anyways, I'll try to get more stuff out bit by bit. I'll talk to you guys later, but until then, ciao.